Nancy.
Hey, Steph, happy Monday. I'm so happy to get my week started off with you again. So,
Absolutely. So we have a new thing that I know we want to start sharing with everybody. We're calling Mind Map Mondays. So you want to tell everybody why mind mapping is so important and why we want to start doing this?
yeah. So I love mind mapping because I'm a really visual person, right? So mind map is just like a to-do list or a brainstorming session. I think a creative way of looking at doing a to-do list and a brainstorming session. So I've just really quickly, I don't know if you can see this, probably not, but anyway, I just kind of quickly drew what a mind map looks like. So
Yep.
what you do is in the center, you draw a circle in the center of your page. And in that circle, you put whatever it is you're mind mapping. So this one says sustainability because we're looking at sustainability statements this morning, right? What goes into a sustainability statement. And then you just kind of draw spokes or lines out and all of the things that you need to consider. So if you were doing a traditional brainstorming session, you'd have your whiteboard out, and then I would, we'd say, okay, our topic is sustainability statement. What goes into a sustainability statement? So then we talk about mission and vision, and you just kind of write all these things down. But with a mind map, what you do is you visualize and putting it in different colors on paper without the idea of a straight, linear thinking
Yeah.
really opens up your creativity, I think. So that's why I love doing mind maps. And the more you get into a mind map, the more you can create pages and pages, because each one of the things that comes out from the center, so the line that comes out from the center of the mind map, the main topic there can become a whole new mind map.
Yeah.
So you have that, the main topic there, you include that, and then you do spokes or lines or whatever. And then I've even seen computer-based systems where you can move the lines. Okay, so if you're not, a paper and pen kind of gal like we are, and you want to do it on your computer, you can get some kind of a program that allows you can color code it on the computer, and then you can use your mouse to move the lines.
Oh.
So, however it is you want to do a mind map, you can do it, right? So the kind of the sky's the limit. So I thought for today, though, since our theme for April is sustainability, and we're looking at sustainability statements and why they're important, the first thing to consider is our corporate sponsors have told us that sustainability is really important to them. And supplier diversity, especially, they're measured by how they live, within the core values of their corporations.
Yep.
So our contacts in supplier diversity departments have told us they want to see in any bid that you do some kind of a sustainability statement. And sometimes the bids actually ask you, do you have a sustainability statement? And they'll award you points if you do, right? So we were also told it's not only to go on the contracts and bidding opportunities, but it should live on your website too, right? So for example, in the About Us section, if you have your sustainability statement there, that's a really great place for it. The other thing to remember is it doesn't have to be a thesis on sustainability, right? It doesn't have to be pages and pages long. It can be a statement, because that's what it is. It's a statement. So it can be 2-3 sentences that say what your belief is regarding sustainability and your company, what your vision is, and how you perform, right? And at one point, I know, Steph, you and I talked about Disney's sustainability statement, right? Which is pages and pages long, but there are a couple of elements from the Disney sustainability statement that I think our members can really use to their advantage.
Yep.
So I liked, I don't know, how do we drop links? Is it in the chat? How do we,
Yeah, it'll
how
be
do we
down
do
underneath
that?
the video. So I'll make sure to drop that underneath the video. You'll be able to see the link.
Right, right. So if you go on that link, about midway through the Disney sustainability, the main page, you'll see some icons that they've used, right? That measure how they're performing against the really important things that mean sustainability to them. So our small business owners can do the same thing, right? On your website, you could have these different icons. One could be recycling. So sustainability, recycling is a big part of sustainability, right?
Yep.
So you could measure how you're doing, with your recycling efforts, that the amount of paper that you're no longer using, going from water, bottled water to cooler, that kind of thing, right? Measuring the output of your light bulbs, et cetera. But sustainability also means being more intentional in your business practices,
Yeah.
right? So you've probably heard of lean business principles, right? And so if you're doing lean business principles, then that's sustainability, and you can measure that, right? You can measure how often you revisit your policies and procedures. You can measure how you conduct your client exit interviews or your client onboarding. All of that is sustainability. It doesn't have to be directly impacting the environment,
Yep.
which is, we want you to do that, right? We're promoting that you be responsible to our environment. But sustainability also means measuring output and input, or input and output, right?
Yeah, it has those two other spokes I think people forget about. It's environmental, social, and economic, right? So there's three spokes when you think about sustainability, and you can look at all of those when you're looking at your statement. So obviously what you do from an environmental standpoint, but then there's the economic impact and the social impact that you can have as well.
Right. And in the book that we just reviewed for the Growth Shift week 2, right, which is always a book review, the author talked about some practices that corporations can do that may not be related directly to the corporation. So I think he highlighted, and this, the book was written over a decade ago, but it's still got some principles that are really, really important. But he highlighted the Stony Brook, I think it's called Stony Brook Yogurt Company.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're a yogurt company. They were measuring the impact that producing their yogurt had on the economy, but they went the one step further, which is the social responsibility spoke, right? And what they did is they set up tire inflation stations in the town where they're headquartered. And they would just invite people, come get your tires inflated. They would measure the tire pressure and offer a free service to come get your tires inflated, right? It did two things. First off, it gave them great marketing, because what does, Stony Brook yogurt, you don't associate that with tires at all. So just out of curiosity, you would go and see what was going on. But what they were doing was impacting the environment, because when your tires are inflated properly, your engine runs more smoothly and you use less gas, which, less emissions and all of that. So I thought that was very clever. And I think that maybe some of our members might be able to consider, what can you do for the community? It doesn't have to be necessarily related to your industry or your business directly, but get your name out there. Do something that kind of, I think they call it kind of like shock value, right? So yogurt and tires, kind of a shock value, but very, very effective. So I would recommend looking at that and measuring, you could, as a company, have a clothing drive,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And you invite your employees to bring clothing that they've been meaning to take to Goodwill, but just haven't quite gotten there yet. Invite them to come, and then maybe invite your clients too, and say to
Yep.
your clients, if you get your employees to collect clothing for donation, we will come pick it up, and then we take it all at once. Then
Yep.
you can measure the pounds of clothes that you're donating.
Yep.
That's part of sustainability.
Yep.
Right. I think one of the videos we promoted the first week in
Yes.
our month was this really interesting TED talk that a woman did about the amount of clothing that gets dumped
Yep.
on an annual basis. I think it's something like $4 million worth of
Yes.
clothing gets dumped on an annual basis,
Yep.
just from, I go to Amazon and I decide I'm going to purchase a shirt, and I'm not quite sure what size shirt I want. So I buy 2 different sizes. I select the one that I want and return, because it's free, return the other one. Well, where does that shirt go when you return it? It goes into a dump, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. So this woman, her eyes were opened by her daughter, and so she's changed her ways of shopping. But it was a really interesting video. So that's an idea of how we can get our members kind of thinking outside the box, right, and creatively.
Yeah, I love that. And again, that's kind of this whole idea, like Nancy said, about the mind map, right? So putting in the middle sort of this goal where you're trying to go, and then to start thinking, and even think about bringing in your team if you have them, like Nancy and I. This is what we do every Monday, so that's why we decided to start sharing this with you. We go pillar by pillar of the things, and then we look at what we have and what we might want to add that will really help with what we're trying to work on. So this is a regular thing for us every Monday. And then on Friday, we kind of regroup and see how we've come along with accomplishing, and maybe we put a few more things on. So definitely. And then stay tuned also, for everything else we got going on this week. And if you're in the membership, lots of good stuff coming on. So thanks so much, Nancy, and everything. And we look forward to seeing you next week when we have another Mind Map Monday tip. Take care. Bye.